faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books worldwide.
Hello, this is Sally's Book Club. Today we're exploring The Way Life Works. The English title, The Way Life Works, captures how life operates from tiny viruses to giant blue whales, from single-cell organisms to intelligent humans. These diverse life forms are truly miraculous. Yet they all follow fundamental physical and chemical laws. In this sense, life is nature's laws concentrated, or rather, these laws create life's miracles. This book details core patterns sustaining life, showing why life exists and thrives endlessly. Author Malin Hoagland, a renowned American biochemist, discovered key protein synthesis mechanisms and was a Nobel contender. He also excelled in science communication. He twice won the American Medical Writers Association Book Award. Illustrator Bert Dodson is a famous American popular artist. In 1988, Hoagland met Dodson by chance. They instantly connected, and Hoagland proposed co-creating this book. He'd handle the text. Dodson provided illustrations. They collaborated seamlessly, and the book became an instant classic, still beloved today. The book has 7 chapters: patterns, energy, information machinery, feedback, community, and evolution. Chapter 1 overviews the whole book, while the other 6 expand on key topics. Next, I'll walk you through each chapter's core ideas. Chapter 1 introduces a central concept: patterns. Life blends unity and diversity. Different organisms show unique traits. But internally, from simple bacteria to complex humans, all share fundamental operating patterns. So what are these basic life patterns? The author identifies 16 universal patterns used by all living things. Let's examine 3 key patterns: progression, chains, and containment. These reveal how universal patterns truly are. First, life builds from simple to complex. The earliest life forms, like viruses or bacteria, they're inevitably the simplest forms. Only on this foundation can complex life be built. Simple structures provide limited themes, yet life crafts infinite variations from them. Just like building blocks, with just a few simple pieces we can create endless shapes. All complex life results from constructing through simple patterns.
Secondly, life favors chain-like molecular structures. Polysaccharides, fats, proteins, and genes all follow this pattern.
Chain structures hold complex information and perform complex functions. Protein sequences and gene sequences are vital carriers of life's information. Without chain structures, this information couldn't exist. Finally, all life forms close systems with boundaries. Cells use membranes to separate from environments. Animals use protective fur. Only by distinguishing from the environment can life organize internal order. Otherwise, it blends in and loses life's characteristics. The author lists other patterns too, with later chapters focusing on 6 core patterns: energy, information machinery, feedback, community, and evolution, all central to life's workings. Now let's explore each pattern, starting with the first, energy. To understand energy flow in life, we must first grasp the life-energy relationship.
Demonstration! Energy is life's core. Without it, life wouldn't exist.
Energy, simply put, is the capacity to alter matter's motion, including electrical, thermal, light, and chemical forms. Different energy forms convert between each other. Life uses energy orderly to continuously repair and rebuild structures, maintaining its complex system. Without energy input, entropy always increases in closed systems. That's the entropy increase principle. To grasp entropy increase, imagine building a sandcastle on the beach. Wind and waves gradually collapse it, increasing entropy until it becomes disordered sand. Extending this, our entire universe moves from order to disorder, ultimately heading toward heat death.
Life moves against entropy's flow. It swims upstream.
Over time, life becomes increasingly ordered. A seed grows into a seedling, flowers, bears fruit. Even accidental wounds gradually heal. So where does life's power to resist entropy come from? Let's revisit our sandcastle eroded by waves. When external force intervenes, things change. If you urgently repair collapsed sections when waves hit, You maintain the sandcastle's order long term. Your chemical energy converts to mechanical energy, becoming the sandcastle's order. Similarly, life consumes energy to maintain its structure. This distinguishes living from non-living things. Thus, life needs stable energy sources, or maintenance stops, meaning death. Fortunately, Earth has an ideal energy source, the sun. Thanks to the sun's constant energy, life maintains low entropy. So how does life harness solar energy?
The answer, conversion.
Specifically, turning sunlight into an energy currency. This energy currency is a highly transferable substance circulating through all living things. Let's explore this energy conversion process. Sunlight on rocks just heats them, doing nothing for internal order. Rocks can't actively use energy, but with plants, it's totally different.
Plants actively harness energy via chloroplast to make ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Though a simple molecule, it's biology's superstar.
ATP powers biochemical reactions anywhere, circulating through organisms like cash, hence energy currency. This currency sustains life's operations. From bacteria to humans, all need ATP. On sunny days, plants can't convert all solar energy to ATP, so they store excess for nighttime. Glucose is the perfect storage vessel. Its stable molecules lock in light energy, preventing leakage. Plants capture solar energy this way, storing it in two molecular forms. One is on-demand ATP, the other is stable glucose.
If ATP is small change, glucose is $100 bills.
Chained glucose molecules form cellulose and starch, common in our food. Photosynthesis combines CO2 and water into organic compounds. If only plants existed, all CO2 would become buried coal or oil, halting material cycles and dooming life.
Luckily, animals solve this. They need energy too.
Animals eat plants to extract glucose energy, first shredding plants, then breaking polysaccharides into glucose for cells. Mitochondria decompose glucose, storing energy as ATP again for immediate use. This requires oxygen, so animals inhale O2 while releasing CO2 and water, perfectly cycling with plant photosynthesis. Light energy flows through plants and animals, building structures and fighting entropy.
Without light, all life descends into chaos. It must constantly absorb and convert energy to maintain order.
Beyond energy, life needs precise information. Otherwise, energy goes directionless. Now let's discuss the second pattern, information. How is life's replicating information transmitted? Living bodies consist of cells. Human liver cells renew every 5 months, skin cells every 4 weeks, intestinal cells every 2 days. About 100 million cells die per minute.
Yet we survive because cells keep replicating. How do new cells match old ones?
Life's replication instructions are stored in DNA sequences, the ledger of biological information.
Life without information is no different from a rock. That's why DNA stays deep inside cells, hidden and secure. This record functions like a hereditary martial arts manual, storing complex information and passing it down generations.
So how does DNA record information? Through letter sequences. DNA consists of 4 nucleotides. No need to memorize their chemical names. Just remember they're represented by A, T, C, G. When accessing an organism's DNA, you'll see endless strings of these letters. For example, the human genome contains about 3 billion letters. Within this sequence, different letter combinations represent different information. Life's blueprint is encoded in DNA's alphabetical patterns. Some segments handle replication, others repair, and others manage metabolism. Functional DNA segments are called genes, each assigned specific tasks. Their most crucial role, directing protein synthesis. Proteins then execute jobs like oxygen transport or pathogen elimination. Some genes don't code proteins but regulate, determining which proteins get made and in what quantities. These are called regulatory genes. Other sequences functions remain unknown. Scientists call these junk DNA. But junk DNA may hold undiscovered value. Recording information isn't enough. It must replicate or it'll fade over time, preventing life's continuity. Fortunately, DNA replicates with remarkable efficiency. A, T, C, G aren't ordinary letters. Their molecular structures enable complementary pairing, A with T, C with G. This creates DNA's double helix, zipped together. Through complementarity, one strand's sequence automatically defines the other. For example, if one strand reads ATCG, the opposite must be TAGC. This enables replication. When strands separate, each serves as a template, synthesizing two identical double strands through complementarity, achieving perfect self-copying. So life doesn't need printers to copy its information repeatedly, even passing it to the next generation. This shows DNA is life's information recorder, not its executor. All genetic activities, replication or transmission, require other tools. Just like we need printers for documents, life's replication requires molecular devices, proteins being the most crucial. Now for the third pattern, devices. Let's explore how protein machinery assembles. Computers have components as devices. Cells have proteins as their key parts. Hence, the author compares proteins to cellular machinery.
Proteins are essential cellular devices, catalyzing reactions, clearing waste, transporting nutrients, supporting structures, and defending against pathogens.
Without protein-made muscle fibers, we couldn't lift anything. Without hemoglobin, oxygen couldn't reach throughout the body. Proteins consist of amino acids, with 20 common types. Different amino acid sequences create different proteins with unique functions. DNA provides the sequence instructions, but a gap exists between DNA and proteins.
If DNA is one language, proteins are another.
A translator bridges DNA and protein languages, requiring RNA's involvement. RNA resembles DNA structurally, but has shorter chains, moving between nucleus and cytoplasm to guide protein synthesis. How do organisms synthesize proteins from DNA information?
2 steps. First, transcription, copying DNA to RNA.
Second, translation, assembling amino acids into proteins using RNA. Step 1 occurs in the nucleus. Transcription synthesizes messenger RNA from DNA. This RNA then leaves the nucleus, binds to ribosomes where transfer RNA fetches amino acids, assembling proteins. The second step is translation. The translated proteins then undergo folding to become functional proteins. DNA language thus transforms into protein language, equipping the cell with new machinery. During protein assembly, messenger RNA carries genetic instructions, while transfer RNA handles transport. Both transcription and translation rely on RNA. They manage every step, forming the foundation for new protein synthesis. Through this process, building new machinery from existing parts, a complete cell assembles rapidly. Like factories, cells produce proteins, but overproduction causes waste. Feedback mechanisms minimize this. The fourth pattern, feedback. How does it shape life? Behavioral feedback is an organism's response to stimuli, a core life characteristic. All feedback involves two elements. First, sensing current status and comparing it to optimal conditions. Like sensing food intake versus ideal portions, below optimal triggers hunger, above triggers fullness. Hence, the stomach's pressure receptors constantly monitor its state for accurate feedback. The second element, regulation. Detecting hunger drives food seeking. Positive feedback. Detecting fullness stops eating. Negative feedback that suppresses processes to prevent waste.
Feedback exists everywhere, across all life levels. Cells to individuals, individuals to groups, even between groups, solving practical problems.
Consider cellular feedback. Protein synthesis uses classic feedback regulation to prevent overproduction, starting with amino acid creation. Low intracellular amino acid concentration signals efficient protein synthesis and high consumption, requiring replenishment. The amino acid synthesis system then ramps up production, boosting raw materials and protein output. High amino acid concentration indicates obstructed protein synthesis. When raw materials pile up, the amino acid synthesis system triggers negative feedback to reduce inventory and prevent waste. Through constant fine-tuning with positive and negative feedback, amino acid supply avoids shortages and excesses, maximizing orderly protein synthesis. Without real-time monitoring systems, how do cells react differently to amino acid concentrations? Let's explain this using bacterial tryptophan processing as an example. Tryptophan is a common amino acid. Cells can synthesize tryptophan. They possess all necessary genes, but this ability usually stays dormant. The key to dormancy is a remarkable repressor protein. When tryptophan concentration is high, the repressor binds to it, forming a complex that blocks specific genes, turning off synthesis. When tryptophan is low, the repressor can't bind, like losing a leg, so it doesn't block genes. Synthesis unlocks, allowing tryptophan production. Thus, bacteria respond differently to tryptophan levels. A classic cellular feedback loop. Beyond cells, group-level feedback mechanisms exist too, vital for ecological stability. Because ecosystems are complex feedback systems themselves. Take freshwater lakes, ecosystems of fish, algae, and bacteria. Rising temperatures trigger excessive algae growth. Dense algae block sunlight, causing bottom algae to die from light deprivation. Dead algae feed bacteria, which multiply rapidly, depleting oxygen, suppressing further algae overgrowth. That's negative feedback. Meanwhile, algae-eating fish also reduce algae density. Combined efforts quickly restore balance, rehabilitating the ecosystem. But if wastewater floods the lake, rapidly depleting oxygen faster than organisms can respond, oxygen vanishes completely. Mass fish die-offs then cause total ecosystem collapse. As we can see, feedback isn't a cure-all, especially with human activities posing serious challenges to ecosystems. For life, forming communities provides greater strength to tackle challenges than individuals alone. The fifth pattern, community. Let's discuss how life builds communities. Community is a broad concept, generally meaning a collection of life forms. Overall, it has three layers. First, genetic community, the aggregate of all genes in a cell. Second, cellular community. Third, individual community. For genes to guide life activities, they must follow certain rules. Some genes regulate, some synthesize proteins, some receive hormonal signals and direct cellular responses. Different genes each handle their roles to ensure life activities proceed orderly. Combinations of different cells form cellular communities. All multicellular organisms are made of these. Cellular communities have self-management systems, maintaining precise spatial positions in three-dimensional space and communicating via molecular signals to regulate cell behaviors. If two cardiac cells with different beating frequencies are placed side by side, they'll slowly adjust and eventually sync up. All cell members must obey clear discipline, undergoing orderly division and growth, even sacrificing themselves to maintain the organism's order. Only on a community basis can cells perform complex tasks like hearing, vision, or even thinking. A single cell is completely powerless at this. When we usually say community, it often means the third layer, groups of individual organisms. For example, a group of people gathering forms a simple community that can accomplish complex tasks beyond any individual's ability. Termites are a classic example. Groups of termites build complex mounds. They need no blueprints or designers. Through mutual coordination, they construct soil pillars in suitable spots. Once pillars reach a height, they add a beam to connect them, forming an elegant arch. Stacking many arches creates a sophisticated mound. Additionally, they divide labor, cooperating to find food, care for young, and defend the mound. Once separated from the colony, a lone termite accomplishes nothing. It just wanders until predators hunt it down. Thus, communities transcend individual power, granting new capabilities and becoming vital for biodiversity. Humans, too, developed unprecedented civilizations precisely because we formed communities. But both individuals and communities remain subject to natural selection's oversight. Finally, the sixth pattern, evolution. How does it work? Darwin's theory defines evolution through two aspects: random biological mutations and natural selection screening all mutations. Genetic mutations, random processes, underpin biological variation. Relying solely on randomness would be like monkeys randomly typing Shakespeare, virtually impossible. Yet with natural selection, monkeys could type poetry. How is this miracle possible? Under natural selection's watch, only beneficial mutations survive. Flawed ones get eliminated. In the monkey typing analogy, they don't type randomly. A computer checks each letter and word. Correct words get saved, incorrect ones get deleted. Monkeys then continue from saved words, saving new matches while deleting errors, mirroring natural selection. Through layered selection, correct variations accumulate until forming a proper sentence. Step by step, given enough time, monkeys could type a beautiful poem. Computer simulations confirmed this thought experiment, proving evolution's feasibility. Earth created complex life in mere billions of years through random mutation and natural selection. Such astonishing outcomes may seem meticulously planned, yet they're simply natural events. That covers the core concepts of the way life works. Its biological principles reveal life's fundamental operating patterns. If these underlying logics failed, life's precise mechanisms couldn't exist, showing the unity behind complex life. Unity is the underlying logic of life's operation, while diversity drives biological evolution. Through the interplay of diversity and unity, Earth creates an ever-renewing tapestry of life. All right, that concludes our exploration of the way life works. Reading notes are below the audio. We'll see you next time.